Hello, hello, Virgo. All Virgo people out there, sun, rising, and moon, and welcome to the stream. I'm Poetic Heretic, and this is your February 2020 tarot forecast. I will be giving you a Celtic Cross reading looking at the month of February 2020. I'm going to adjust the camera slightly. I have a candle lit this time, as you can see, trying something a little different. We shall see how that goes. All right, so we would like a Celtic Cross reading for all Virgo people, sun, rising, and moon, for the month of February 2020. Let us see what we get. What will be the energy for the sign of Virgo in the month of February 2020? And there it is. Oh, hey there, Ryan and Yonkin. Welcome to the stream. Finally YouTube notified me properly that you are streaming. Yay. Glad to hear it. Kept missing the other streams by like a half hour to an hour or two. Thanks, YouTube. Oh, geez, that sucks. YouTube and its anomalies. But anyway, well, I'm glad to see you two here. You like my candle? I just got it recently. It's lemongrass scented candle, helps ease anxiety. I think it's appropriate for tarot readings. Anyway, the Knight of Swords. The Sun. The King of Pentacles reversed. The Moon. Oh, Virgo, already you've got the Sun and the Moon showing up. Should be interesting. The Magician reversed. The Four of Wands reversed. Judgment. Wow. Virgo, you are pulling some heavy hitters here. This will be interesting. Justice reversed. Yet another major arcana. The Two of Cups reversed. And a final outcome card of the Hierophant reversed. Okay, all right, let's see what we have here. Candle is so cute. I want a nice scented candle now. I know, right? I love it. And it's slow burning, so it lasts a long time. It's very, very delightful. And it literally is putting me in a more chill mood for these readings as well, or at least I feel a lot more relaxed ever since I lit it. So it's good stuff. All right, Virgo, for your current outside influences, you got the Knight of Swords. This is how you are beginning the month of February. So this card keeps coming up for a lot of people this month, interestingly enough. It is indeed the fiery aspect of air. So it is the aggressive, willful, assertive, passionate aspect of the intellect, of logic, of communication, logical reasoning, that sort of thing. With a card like this showing up for your current outside influences, a lot of times it manifests as a lot of mental activity with yourself and or other people around you. You may find yourself feeling very passionate about certain perspectives that you have, maybe sort of passionately arguing or debating with people. Keep in mind that Mercury, communicator planet Mercury, is, of course, your ruling planet. And so you're sort of naturally predisposed to this energy as it is. Some of you may even be looking at yourself here with this being a court card. Although, well, Virgo, if you don't already know this about yourself, you're an interesting mix. You are an earth sign, but you're ruled by an air planet. So I say that only to some extent that you may be looking at yourself here, because typically this would be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But sometimes I think like with these general readings, we might see things like that too. But regardless, there may be an air sign, especially an adult male air sign, with this being the Knight of Swords, that plays a significant role in your life this month as well. So do be aware of that. Now the plot thickens as we move to the challenge card here, which is the Sun. So this, as the imagery suggests, is a very joyful card. It's all about enjoying being alive, the pleasures of life, feeling free, feeling great ease and that sort of thing. Showing up as your challenge card this month, as if to say that your challenge this month is to enjoy your life, but we can go a step further here. When I look at the other cards before me here, it becomes very clear, very fast, that I think what this is really getting at for you this month is to be able to see things clearly that you have not been seeing clearly, to have clarity of mind, to have awareness of things. And there might even be, let me just see here. There might even be for some of you this energy of wanting to initiate something, to begin something, like a new, like opening, initiation, that sort of thing. Although, again, to bring Mercury into the mix, I would say be wary of that, because indeed Mercury goes retrograde halfway through the month. And so, well, there's many differing opinions on that, but not necessarily the best time to begin something later in the month. But you make up your own mind, I suppose. For the underlying energy, you have the King of Pentacles reversed. So this is representing everything forming a foundation for your current situation for you this month. You may be standing on some unstable ground this month, I'm not going to lie. King of Pentacles, when reversed, is instability, especially financial instability or a sense of insecurity or all of those things. Let's see, what else was I going to say about it. Could also be conflict with this being another court card reversed, an adult male earth sign. So that's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Sometimes this card, speaking of what I just mentioned about cautioning you with beginning new things later in the month, this card can be a warning when reversed, and like a warning not to proceed in a certain direction. And so I would say to you, be very careful this month where you proceed exactly, and about starting new things, especially, again, later on in the month. If something doesn't seem quite right, this card may indeed be warning you that it is not quite right. For the past issues that you've had to deal with, you got the moon. So yet again, we have this idea of things being shrouded in mystery in the past and being unable to see everything as it is, but instead sort of being lost in the mists and the fogs of illusion and confusion and that sort of thing. And I think that's why for many of you, it is now your challenge to see things clearly this month, as we have like so many cards indicating here. However, the moon, in a more generalized sense, can also talk about issues surrounding deception, illusion, confusion, hidden things, hidden enemies, people talking behind your back, perhaps some shady dealings, that sort of thing. And these challenges are then influencing what you are currently experiencing this month. But like I said, I think since there's just a ridiculous amount of indicators in this reading, that for many of you, it is the need to see things for what they are this month. Don't get caught up in fantasy and false belief, in other words. For what you hope to achieve, you got the Magician reversed. So yet another Mercury card. Mercury is just all through this reading, apparently. This is your highest hope, your highest goal, what you are focused upon this month, what you're reaching for. And it's the Magician reversed. In addition to the idea that we've already been over about seeing things clearly, seeing things for what they are, as well as initiating something, beginning something new, this card in particular can talk about wanting to overcome a particular test, a particular challenge, something that, how do I put this? Something that is posing quite an obstacle, but that you are wanting to and or trying to use your skills and abilities as best you can to overcome. That's what we have with the Magician card whenever we're talking about this in a challenging sense. It's using all of your technical know-how, using your mind, Mercury is the mind, to come up with creative solutions to the challenges that you face. And again, when this card's reversed, it tends to be heavy tests and challenges a lot of times. For the near future, representing about the first week or two of the month, you got the Four of Wands reversed. So there are many who say that this card is so positive when upright that it is still positive even when reversed. And I do think I see that from time to time. And so there may be a sense of celebration, of enjoyment of life, of relaxation, a temporary break from things early in the month. But if it manifests more negatively for you, which it may, this can also be the idea of procrastination, laziness, perhaps low energy, that sort of thing. And I almost want to say that with the Sun card showing up for the challenge card, that may also be an indicator that for some of you, like a sort of low energy malaise or low energy sort of laziness could be an issue, like a feeling so free that it's almost manifesting negatively in the sense that you don't have direction. So like, don't lose your direction this month, I would say. All right. For your attitude or position on the situation, about halfway through the month, you got Judgment. Judgment card, very powerful card. This very often indicates major life events, once in a lifetime opportunities, destiny calling, the raising of buried content, all of this stuff. However, this is how you're feeling. So it may or may not be actually that big, but for some reason, the vast majority of you are feeling like this month is a big deal in your life, or at the very least, you're feeling like there's a significant transformation going on within you. Again, the raising of buried content. Going back to our theme, seeing things clearly earlier, the Judgment card does, in a very simplified sense, talk about exercising clear judgment and having clarity. And so that's good news. If your challenge this month for all Virgo people is to see things clearly, this is saying that the vast majority of you are going to be at least feeling like you're seeing things clearly by about halfway through the month. And so that is a very good sign. Yeah, whenever we see the Judgment card, especially since you guys got literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcanas, that's over half the reading. You can be pretty damn sure that there are some major like cosmic forces at work in your life right now. All right, so for the outside force coming in, you got Justice reversed. This is something coming at you, coming towards you. This could be, in a very simple and obvious sense, something that is an injustice, justice reversed, an injustice, unfairness, something unfair. Could be a situation, a person, circumstances, something coming at you that feels unfair. So I would say, knowledge is power. Now that you know what's coming at you, be on the lookout for it. Perhaps you can avert it to some extent, or at least lessen the difficulty of it. This is also an indicator that if any of you are involved in legal battles, that this is not a good time to get a favorable outcome. And that makes even more sense when we again consider the fact that Mercury will be retrograde by halfway through the month. Again, there's a lot of different opinions on that, but I would say with Mercury being retrograde and with this card showing up for the outside force coming in, not a good time for legal battles. So if you're involved in anything like that, I would recommend perhaps postponing it if possible, because we do have that. Now, going back to our theme, however, of trying to see things clearly and see things for what they are, in that context, this card is the outside force coming in would be indicating something that is preventing you from seeing things clearly. So beware that there may be some outside force, some outside agency that is trying to cloud your judgment. Don't fall for it. For your hopes or fears, this is very interesting. You got the Two of Cups reversed. So when we get this card reversed, it is so often an indicator of some kind of tension or conflict between two people who are very much connected, whether it's in a romantic relationship or a very close friendship or something like that. It can also be separation. Fortunately, it's only falling in your hopes or fears, so it's not necessarily representing anything that is literally manifesting. But consider this. Back to our theme of Mercury. Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces, which is your 7th house of relationships. And so I can tell you quite confidently, especially if Virgo is your rising sign and or Virgo is just very strong in your chart, like Virgo energy is just very strong in your chart, that it is extremely probable that you will have relationship challenges, or at the very least, the theme of relationships will be brought up this month and into March as Mercury is in an extended stay in your 7th house of Pisces. It will dip back into Aquarius for a bit, your 6th house, but only for a few days. So you may see before Mercury, not long before Mercury goes direct, so this would be more like March, but I'll give you some bonus information, why not? You may see a shift from issues surrounding relationships to instead issues surrounding your health or your work or your day-to-day activities or any combination of that, and then back to your relationships. And often what we also see with a situation like this is that those areas of life will be linked in a very significant way. So do be aware of that. So how are you concluding the month of February 2020? Well, you are concluding it with none other than the Hierophant reversed. The rebel, the going against the status quo, the separating from conformity or separating from the group mind or group consciousness, the rebellious teenager, even, as we see with the Hierophant reversed. Not that you have to be a teenager in order to experience this card. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that's a good example of the energy of this card. And so anomalies, have this idea of anomalies and things just being very much out of the ordinary, especially when it comes to the idea of groups that you belong to or like organizations that you belong to. I wouldn't be surprised if this too is part of the Mercury retrograde. So whether that ends up being a good thing or a bad thing, we shall see. My intuition tells me from just looking at this reading overall that it's far more likely to be a good thing than a bad thing for the vast majority of you. It's like probably a much needed shakeup of the energy because if we just stick to doing the same thing all the time, status quo forever, life not only gets very boring, but we actually get off of our path, 99.9% of the time, because we didn't come here to just act like machines and just do the same thing over and over and over again, day after day. There comes a time when things have to get shaken up, and that's what we're seeing here. So that's about it, Virgo. The only other thing I could say about this reading is, remember, yet again, with the Mercury retrograde, the story does not end at the end of February. The story of this month, it will continue very much into March, and you won't see a significant sort of culmination of things in all likelihood. And this would apply to really all signs until like late March, early April, I would say. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe if you did, because I am always posting / streaming astrology and tarot related content and just stuff on spirituality in general. So if you like that, you can always subscribe to see more. Other than that, I hope you have a great month. Thank you to Ryan and Yonkin for stopping in this stream. And I hope you guys and all the Virgo people out there have a great night. Bye for now.